Imagine a gang storms a bank, armed to the teeth. Hostages scream, police swarm in, snipers take position. Negotiations drag on for hours. And then, when the police finally storm the building, the gunmen are gone. No trace. No bodies. No exit. Just an empty vault and millions missing. How did they vanish into thin air while surrounded on all sides? This is not fiction. It happened in Berlin, 1995. Stick around, because what you're about to hear is one of the most brilliant, twisted, and daring bank heists in modern history. Hit the subscribe button now if you crave real stories filled with suspense, genius, and criminal ambition that ends in downfall. At 10 a.m. sharp, the Berlin police responded to a robbery alarm blaring from a downtown Commerce Bank branch. When they arrived, they were met with chaos. 16 employees and customers were being held hostage inside by 3 heavily armed, masked gunmen. Police instantly surrounded the building. Media outlets arrived within minutes. Special forces deployed. Snipers positioned. Every exit covered. The robbers were armed with machine guns, pistols, grenades, and more. Police set up communication lines with the gang. 30 minutes later, a hostage emerged with a letter. The demands: $12 million. The warning: try to enter, and hostages will die. Negotiators begged the robbers to release some hostages in exchange for partial payment. But the gunmen refused to talk. For 5 hours, there was complete silence. No calls. No updates. Just dread. At 6 p.m., that silence broke. A woman, a hostage and mother, was forced to call a local Berlin radio station. She cried, pleaded, and begged for her life. The broadcast exploded across the nation. Sympathy soared. Public pressure on authorities intensified. To ease the tension, the police delivered $4 million, 1/3 of the demand. A naked officer, wearing only underwear, made the handoff to prove he had no weapons. After that, radio silence resumed. At midnight, the robbers called again. They requested a bus and a helicopter, with the rest of the money placed inside the bus. The police complied. But at 2 a.m., when the robbers promised to emerge, they didn't. At 3:30 a.m., the police got another call, not from the gang, but from the bank manager. He reported that the robbers had vanished into the basement and hadn't been seen since. Officers stormed the bank. Hostages were freed, unharmed. Special forces combed the building. No robbers. Only an empty vault with more than 200 safety deposit boxes pried open. Millions were gone. The bank had been surrounded from every angle. The press, snipers, special forces. No one saw them leave. So where did they go? Meet Khalid al-Barazi, a Syrian immigrant who arrived in Germany in 1986. He once worked as an X-ray technician in a hospital, until he was fired. With no job and no prospects, Khalid turned to crime, first stealing medical supplies, then drugs. Arrested in 1991. 2 years in prison. But in that prison cell, he met Ibrahim. And there, the plan of a lifetime was born. After their release, Khalid and Ibrahim scouted banks around Berlin. Khalid's brother, Tony, owned a car workshop in an upscale neighborhood. Nearby stood a former clothing store, now a Commerce Bank branch. One day, Khalid visited as a fake customer and asked to see the vault for safe deposit boxes. He was shown hundreds of them, each a treasure chest. His mind was made. Public archives showed that the bank sat atop sandy soil, previously a clothing store. That meant thin flooring. Khalid proposed a tunnel, not directly to the bank, but to a drainage pipe near it. From there, they could dig a secondary tunnel into the basement vault. They rented an old garage 200 meters from the bank. Khalid posed as a Greek merchant needing storage. With the base secured, the team expanded. Tony, Ibrahim, and 2 other recruits from Berlin's Arab community. 5 men in total. In June 1994, the digging began. 12 to 14 hours a day. Daily shifts. No rest. They used over 3 tons of wood and metal to fortify the tunnel. They installed electric lines and ventilation pipes. After 5 months, they reached the drainage pipe. Phase 1 was complete. They paused work to reassess. Now the hardest part began, digging from the drainage pipe to directly under the vault. One day, they spotted utility workers above them. Khalid ordered the support beams pulled. That part of the tunnel collapsed to avoid discovery. For months passed before the coast was clear. After resuming work, it took them months of slow, careful digging to finally reach under the vault. But Khalid knew alarms and surveillance would foil a simple break-in. He needed a distraction. A big one. Instead of sneaking in at night, Khalid made a bold choice: storm the bank in broad daylight. On June 27, 1995, he, Tony, and Ibrahim entered the bank armed and masked. They took hostages, demanded money, and above all, bought time. While Khalid and Tony managed the hostages upstairs, Ibrahim slipped into the basement. There, he opened the vault floor. The two other gang members, waiting in the tunnel, entered with power tools. They began cracking open the safety deposit boxes. Khalid staged moments for maximum media impact, a hostage begging on live radio, a staged gunshot to fake executions. The police panicked. Public fear surged. And every hour that passed gave the tunnel crew more time. After collecting bags of cash and jewelry, the tunnel team slid everything out via sled to the garage. They loaded it up and fled. Meanwhile, Khalid continued his Oscar-worthy performance upstairs. Finally, just before 2 a.m., they made their final call, requesting transport. But instead of boarding the bus or chopper, they vanished down the tunnel. At 4 a.m., the police finally stormed in. Hostages safe. Vault empty. No robbers. Nothing but silence. When they discovered the tunnel, it led them to the garage. But it was already abandoned. A 60-person investigation unit was assembled. Police questioned hostages. No one had seen a face. No DNA. No fingerprints. Nothing. Then, luck struck. A construction worker recalled seeing 3 Arab men dumping sand nearby. Investigators sampled it, matched it to the tunnel. Facial sketches were drawn. The first lead. One caller tipped off police. The man in the sketch looked like a mechanic near the bank, Tony al-Barazi. Investigators visited his shop. He denied everything. But they took his juice box. From it, they lifted a fingerprint. That print matched one found on a plank in the tunnel. And Tony's record linked him to Khalid, recently released ex-con. Suddenly, the pieces aligned. Tony was arrested first. After 7 hours of interrogation, he cracked. He gave up everything: the plan, the people, the location. Police arrested Khalid and Ibrahim before they could flee. The other two were caught shortly after. During trial, they all confessed. But only a third of the money was recovered. Khalid was sentenced to 14 years, the harshest of all. The others received between 5 to 10. But here's the twist. Roughly $8 million was never found. Authorities begged Khalid to reveal its location. They offered reduced sentences. He refused. Silent. Waiting. Khalid was released in 2010. Many believe the money was waiting for him, hidden, untouched. In the end, his ego sealed his downfall. He could have fled. But he stayed, certain he had left no trace. And for a while, he hadn't. This wasn't just a robbery. It was theater. A magic trick. A war game. And for 24 hours, the robbers had the entire country in the palm of their hand. But one fingerprint, one juice box, brought it all crashing down. If you found this story as shocking as we did, hit that like button and share this video with someone who thinks crime always fails. Drop a comment below. Do you think Khalid stashed the money? Should he have gotten away? And don't forget to subscribe for more faceless true crime stew.